Hello and welcome back to Paddy's Sandbox, and today we're going to be building a villager breeder. So since the last episode I've done quite a bit in terms of getting tools sorted out, gathering resources and those sort of things. So I have recorded some of it, so I'll show you a bit of a montage just of some of those little sections in a second. But in terms of what we'll be doing today, so in this little spot here we are going to build a villager breeder. This is something I've gone ahead and designed in creative in preparation already. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a little montage now for how I got up to here, just whilst I finish prepping this particular area. Okay, so I've done a little bit more of the foundations and I've gone ahead and got that built up. So I do actually just want to mention that it has actually been about 2 weeks since that last clip that you've seen. Unfortunately, not been very well. Had a case of corona in the household, so there's been a bit of sickness. Thankfully, I didn't get it myself, but I did get something else. I'm not sure what, but hey. But thankfully, I've been up to doing a bit of recording today, so I thought I'd see what I can do. So, in terms of the villager breeder that we're building today, so I've gone ahead and done the foundations. There is a little bit of a trench here, so this will actually be for a little bit of redstone, which we'll get to shortly. So I'm thinking what I could do is actually build the villager breeder bit on sort of camera, and then possibly jump into something like a time lapse and then finish the skin, as it were, around the breeder. so I'm back. Unfortunately, I ended up poorly again. 2 illnesses in such a short space of time, so I do apologise. Obviously I did state that I was going to go ahead and record me building this particular section on camera. I decided against it. Instead, I've gone ahead and sort of built sort of the base, as it were. So it's kind of like the main bit of it before I skin it, and then I thought I'd go ahead and sort of explain a little bit more about how it works. So I'm just going to go up the stairs. Okay, so I'm not sure if any of you have seen many villager breeders. With this particular one, you've got a 9x9 sort of farm section. So in total, there's going to be up to 4 villagers in this particular section, hence the composters on the side. So those particular villagers, they'll be the ones that go ahead and do all the breeding and produce all the babies. So over here, there's some beds. There's still a few more I need to put in there. So the extra 2, which puts it at 6, those will be the sort of slots for the babies. So what'll happen, the babies, particularly when it gets night time or they're running around, when they try and get to the bed, they'll just run straight across here and fall down the hole and get collected. So there will be a little bar across here to stop the adults from getting in. So I'm just going to go and head back down to the bottom. So in terms of the babies, they'll end up in this little stream section here. I do need to put a little bit of a hopper there. So sometimes the villagers, when they throw each other food, sometimes the food drops down. It's very slow, but there is a little bit of a system that collects that here and whatnot. So around the back there'll be some redstone that'll sort of pull the villagers through, and then I'll be able to send them off to where I need them to be. So that's kind of a bit of a rundown on how this particular villager breeder works. So it's fairly straightforward. It tends to be sort of my go-to as a villager breeder, and then I just sort of skin it differently depending on what sort of theme I'm going for and things like that. Make the occasional tweaks here and there. So yeah. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is sort of jump to a time lapse, I think, of me just finishing building this, and then once I've done that, I can do the wonderful grind of getting some villagers over here and into this. So I will be back shortly. Okay, so that should be the town that's complete there. So I've just about gone ahead and finished building most of the villager breeder. So I thought I'd come and give you a quick tour to show you what it is that I've sort of constructed. So this is sort of the main sort of lobby area. Not entirely sure what you want to call it. So I'm going to have some storage and things like that in here. So hopefully that'll sort of fulfill my needs for storage for some time. So up here, this is the area where the villagers fall down. I do still need to get a few more bits of glass just to fill that section in there, but for the most part this is done. So as I mentioned, the villagers will fall down and will get pushed along here down to this section at the bottom. So I've just come through to the back so you can see where all the redstone is. So when you press the button, all that does is pushes the sticky piston across with the redstone block, and that just powers the dispenser, which I'll put some minecarts in shortly. And that'll then just trigger the minecart to so pop through and pull a villager, and then I can send that off to wherever I want to go. Hi bee! So I do have a little beehive here. So elegant, aren't they? Anyway, so another part of this as well is so if any items fall down, there is a little hopper that sort of picks them up. They just get funneled down into this dropper, and then when the dropper gets triggered, there is a chest that they get placed into. So it just uses a comparator to a repeater and looping back round, so it kind of like sort of loops, as it were. What it also does as well, it's a bit of a redstone dust here, so that brings it down. And again, a repeater to pull the power, and then redstone torch, and that'll then trigger the actual dropper to fire them up whenever there's any items in there. Okay, so yes, that's sort of the main section down here. So I'll go ahead and head upstairs. So this is the upstairs area. Again, a few more chests. And this is the main central area. Just love the way the light shines through those windows. So good. So yeah, so the villagers themselves, they'll plant the carrots and things in here. Once I've got that ploughed through, and then they'll be able to do what they need to do. So this is the barrier that I was referring to previously. So this will stop any of the adult villagers from falling through. But the baby villagers, they'll see this as a full block and just walk straight across. So we do have some fence gates here. So these are sort of a means of turning it off in a way. So when you close these, this prevents the villagers from getting to the beds. So the way they see it is there's no free beds, so they stop breeding. So nice and straightforward. Certainly had no problems using this myself. So I mentioned it's sort of a go-to design that I tend to go for. So yeah. So all I need to do now, as I mentioned, is just fill in those few pieces of the glass at the bottom, and then actually get some villagers over here into there to start the breeding process, as it were. So yeah, so there is a village nearby, which is that one we found a few episodes ago. So hopefully I'll be able to grab a few through from there, and we'll see how that goes. Possibly try and grab them via boats, possibly. And then possibly make some minecarts to actually get them up there. So yes, I think that's going to be it for this particular episode. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and show you a few flyby shots as well of the building. But take care.